All right, kindergarten. So today in class, we labeled this I sort with the letter of I for the things that started with I. So we had iguana starts with I, iguana. Instrument starts with I. Igloo starts with I. This was, remember, an inch. That's how you measure things, an inch. Invitation, and an insect. Now, I might have forgotten this morning to scribble on the back. So the first thing we're gonna do is take this paper out. You're gonna need a crayon, you're gonna need your scissors, and you're gonna need your glue, and also your smart book. If you're in Miss Light's class, it's red. If you're in Miss O's class, it's blue. So get your supplies out and then we'll get started. Okay, now I'm gonna take my paper, flip it over, and remember the first thing we do is we scribble. Just scribble on the back. This is to show us which side is the gluing side, and I don't want to accidentally get glue on the front side, so I scribble just to remind myself, glue here. It's kind of like a reminder for me, okay? So if you've got yours labeled and you've got your scribbling done, then you're ready for the next step. So before we cut these out, we are going to get our smart book ready. So last week, we were doing some pages in our smart book, and we told you to keep your bookmark in there so you can always find where the next page is. But I'm gonna turn it the slow way. So I opened it from the front. Remember, we don't open it from the back side. Open it from the colored side, red or blue.
And we're not gonna open it all the way to the middle of the notebook, boys and girls.
One page. And then I turn this page, and I have my like sort. If I turn another page, I have my T and my not T sort. And there's my bookmark, so I know I'm getting close. Then I turn one page. Look, I'm only turning one page, and there's my bookmark right there showing me where we're gonna start today. I'm gonna actually move my bookmark over just a little bit so I have some room to write. So for our sort today, we have to label it with the letter of the week. We have I, uppercase I, lowercase I. So let's do that first. Take your crayon. At the top of your 2-column notes, we have 2 columns. This is one column. Here's our line down the middle, the spiral, and then this is our other column. So on the left side, I'm gonna write I. Skyline to grass line, pick up, fly across the sky, fly across the grass. Just like Miss O showed us. Then I'm going to do lowercase I. Start on the plain line to grass line, pick up, and just a little dot. We're not going to make lollipops. It's not going to attach. It's just a little dot. Let's do the same thing in our second column. Skyline to grass line, pick up, fly across the sky, fly across the grass, and then plain line, not all the way at the top, go where the plain line is. Plain line to grass line, pick up, and a little dot. Not a big dot, not a lollipop. Now remember, this is going to be the I side, this is going to be the not I side. So say, you're not I, and cross it out. Now we're ready to get our pages sorted. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to cut around the outside using my scissors. And I'm going to make sure my fingers are on the bottom, my thumb's on top. And this hand, the fingers are gonna be on the bottom as well. Put your fingers on the bottom, thumb on top, and it's gonna turn. So let's do it the fast way. We're gonna cut all the way along the side, and then I'm gonna stop and turn. Cut all the way over, stop. Cut all the way down and stop. And turn all the way across. Now I only have one scrap, this big scrap that you need to throw away. So throw your scrap away, make sure you take care of that. Now I'm gonna cut these apart on the lines. You do that and then come back and we'll show you the next step. All right, so I have all of my squares cut out and I have scribbles on the back so I know which side is the gluing side and which side is not. So now we're going to sort. We have to decide whether it goes on the I side or the not I side. Well, we made the job really easy because look, we've already labeled them. So we have I for iguana. I'm going to put that on the I side. We have not I, swings. Swings does not start with I. I'm going to set that on this side. I'm not gluing yet. We have I for instruments. I'm going to put that on the I side. And I'm keeping them organized. Look how I'm lining them up. Just like we do for math, we line them up. Helmet. Helmet does not start with I. We already crossed that one out. Car. Car does not start with I. I'm going to lay that there.
All right, kindergartners, press pause and try to sort the rest by yourself, and then come back and check your work with Miss Lights before we glue. Do not glue yet, just finish sorting. Before you glue, please look to double check your work.
Okay, so I sorted all of mine. I have my I's and my not I's. I laid them in an organized way so that I know that they fit. You don't want to just shove them on the page anyhow. You want to make sure they're organized. So once they're organized and once you have them on the page, then you can glue. Now remember, there's a very important rule with our smart books. To make them smart, we don't want all the pages stuck together. If the pages are stuck together, that's not very smart. So in order to make it smart, we have to make sure that we do the gluing off of the page. That means we don't want to put glue on the page, and when we're gluing the back, we don't want to lay it on our notebook because we could get some extra glue on here and the pages will get stuck. So I want you to take each one off the page, open your glue 2 times, you can turn it, 1, 2, put a dab of glue around the outside and a little bit in the middle, and then lay it back down nice and carefully so it's organized. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Take it off the page, make sure you're on the glue side, a dab of glue, a little in the middle, and then make sure it's laid nice and organized before you stick it down. Take it off the page, not on the page, put a dab of glue and glue it down. Now, there's a couple more things you can do to make your smart book smart. I'm done gluing, so I'm going to turn my glue back down. 1, 2. I'm going to put that supply away because I'm done gluing. Make sure it gets in your toolbox. I'm going to put mine in my toolbox. And now, there's a couple things you can do to make it smarter. One thing you could do to make it look smarter is you can color and make your page look really nice. So coloring it in is one way to make your smart book smarter. The second way you can make your smart book smarter is you could label the ones that are not I with what letter they start with. So I could say swings, oh, that's an S. And I could label the letter of the things that don't start with I. We already labeled the I side. Helmet, oh, that's an H. And car, that's a C. So you could label, you could color, you could label. And the last thing you could do to make it smarter is you could use your counting strategy of count and touch. I can't count and scoot, but I could use count and check, and I could write my quantity. So I'm gonna see how many I things I have. I'm gonna use count and check. 1, oops, my crayon broke, that's okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My quantity is 6. So I'm gonna write my quantity right down here. I could use count and check over here, or I could use count and touch. I can't use count and scoot because they won't move, they're glued down. So I'm gonna use count and touch this time. 1, 2, 3. My quantity is 3, so I'm gonna write how many are that letter. All right, so make your smart book, make it smart, and show us your smartness by putting it in your Seesaw account. We can't wait to see how smart your journals are.
Take a picture of your smart book and upload that to Seesaw. Don't forget to move your bookmark and keep it in your smart book.